Crypto Quick Chat here. This is just going to be a short video on what you're looking at when you're assessing an Illuvial's data card. So the most important thing when we're assessing an Illuvial is to work out, well, the first, maybe not the most important, but the first thing we look at when we're assessing Illuvial is the Illuvial's tier. And you'll see that when you look through the list of Illuvials. If you look down here, you'll see these little tabs up the top here. They're pretty easy to miss if you don't understand the system. So as you scroll up and down, you can see this one's got 1 dash, this one's got 3, this one's got 1, this one's got 4. That's the tier of the Illuvial. If they don't have any dashes, like this water grotto here, that means they're a tier 0. So an Illuvial can range from a tier 0 to a tier 5. The tier isn't exactly important when assessing the power. It's more about the rarity of the Illuvial. So once you know the tier of the Illuvial, the next thing to look at is in the top left-hand corner of the stats. You'll see here the little hexagons. There's always 1, 2, or 3 highlighted hexagons. If there's only one highlighted, it's a stage 1 Illuvial, and all Illuvials can be upgraded or found as a stage 2 or 3. Right, and when you mouse over an Illuvial card, you can see the stages on the top left. So you've got the tiers in the middle at the top and the stages on the left-hand side up the top. Okay, so that's all important when working out what level of Illuvials to use. The next thing is the affinity. So you've got dominant effects over here. Water effect on this particular Illuvial, and he's a tank, so he's a bulwark. On your more advanced stage 3 Illuvials, sometimes they have a secondary stat. So for this Jotun, if you look here, he's a tier 4, and if you look up here, he's got all 3 hexagons highlighted, so that makes him a stage 3 Illuvial. He's the final stage of the Jotun line. So he's dominant in air and fighter, but because he's a stage 3 and he's a more advanced Illuvial, he gets a secondary stat, which is when you combine air with water, you get frost. So he's frost, he has the frost effect, and he also has fighter as his dominant stat, but because he's also a bulwark, he becomes behemoth. Now, his primary stats here are for when you link your ranger to him in combat. So your ranger will take on the air and the fighter stat. So that's all you really need to know about this here. If you're using other Illuvials or trying to make your own ranger have the same stats up here, you can use different affinities and different weapons to make those the same, and that way you get a bonus. You'll get the behemoth bonus or the frost bonus. That's pretty much it. There are other stats to look at, like the level, and you've got a little quick stat breakdown here. This one rolled quite good, and the Illuvial's main stats here. However, at this stage of the beta, there doesn't seem to be much effect to the stats of an Illuvial. They all seem to be pretty standard. That is rumored to change, and I don't know when it's going to happen, and we'll take another look at the Illuvial cards once that is activated. But that's it for now. Catch you all later. If you found this useful, please like this video and subscribe to Crypto Quick Chat.